Hello, friend. Thanks for pressing play on this episode of the Brassy broadcast. I'm Jen Eads. I'm a musician, a student of the creative universe, and a curious girl full of questions. I'm also the head broad in charge at the Brassy Broadcasting Company, where I partner with the creators, the doers, and the makers of this world to put them in the ears, heads, and hearts of new audiences with podcasts and other audio goodness. Psst. Hey, fellow and future podcasters, we can write much better calls to action than asking our listeners to subscribe, rate, and review our shows in iTunes or now Apple Podcast or whatever they call it down the road. Have you actually tried to write an iTunes review? It was kind of a pain in the butt the last time I did it, so I haven't done one since. And what about the rest of the world that listens on something else besides an iPhone or an iOS device? What are you asking them to do? I buy stuff on Amazon based on reviews, but I've never ever subscribed to a podcast based on reviews. Friends, we can do better. An effective call to action strikes a balance between what's in it for you and what's in it for your listener if they take this action. I encourage you to start by determining the one action you really want your listener to take. Do you want them to get on your email list? Do you want them to follow you on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter? Do you want them to share your podcast with a friend? Figure out that one thing and then give them a reason to take that action. Why should they subscribe to your email? Do you throw in extra goodies that aren't in the podcast? Do you email them show notes or a full transcript? Why should they connect with you on social media? Do you continue the conversation there by engaging and responding to listener comments or answering listener questions? Why should a listener share your podcast with a friend? Tell them what is in it for them. Do you have a Patreon page? Do you offer rewards for listeners' financial support of your show? Then tell them that. Don't ask your listener to do 5 different things. You will have to ask and ask and ask again, and then ask again to get them to do one thing. Focus on that and ask again. I know you can do this. You've got it in you to write a stronger call to action. Let me demonstrate. Here's my call to action. If you found even the smallest little nugget of wisdom in this episode, share it with a friend that needs to hear it. Don't be stingy. Your friend will think you are an absolute rock star for sharing this with them. I love it when I get a random text from a friend with a link to a podcast that they know I'm absolutely going to love, along with a message that says, OMG, you have got to listen to this podcast. You will absolutely love it. We were just talking about this, remember? This is how I discover new shows. I don't find them by looking at iTunes rankings. Here's one more call to action, though. I just can't help myself because Instagram is my jam. And you can connect with me there to get the behind the scenes of where my podcasting and musical worlds collide. And I'm always sharing what's in my ears, what podcasts are turning me on and lighting my fire lately. And there are also lots of pictures of the dog and cat. For my podcasting tutorials, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube at Jen Eads Brassy. Thanks for listening. Now, the most important call to action, get out in the world and do some good.